Hey there, treasure hunters! Have you ever thought the change jingling in your pocket could actually be worth a fortune? Well, buckle up, because today, we're talking about one of the most mind-blowing stories in the coin world, a 2007 Canadian 1-cent coin that's now worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yep. 1 penny. $1 million. Go check your piggy banks right now, I'll wait. Okay. Maybe don't sprint just yet, because I'm about to explain why this coin is so valuable, what makes it so special, and how you can find out if you've got a jackpot hiding in your junk drawer. Stick around, because I'm even going to tell you a funny, slightly embarrassing story about how I almost threw away a coin worth thousands. Almost.so if you like money, weird facts, or laughing at other people's mistakes, welcome. You're in the right place. Let's dive into the curious case of the $1 million penny. Canada's 1-cent coin, or penny, has been around since 1858. That's a long time for a tiny copper disc to hang around. But by 2012, Canada officially retired the penny because it was costing more to make than it was worth. Yep, it was literally too expensive to be cheap. But rewind to 2007. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, until someone noticed something strange years later. One of the 2007 Canadian pennies was discovered to be a rare error coin, and not just any error. It was struck on the wrong planchet. In simple terms, it was printed on the wrong kind of metal, and guess what? That tiny mistake made it worth $1 million. Imagine misprinting your homework and the teacher giving you $1 million instead of detention. So why is this coin special? What's the big deal? Great question, my financially curious friend. Most 2007 pennies were struck on copper-plated steel blanks, which is standard. But this specific error coin was struck on a bronze planchet, a leftover from earlier coinage years. That's like going to a car factory and suddenly finding a vintage Mustang in the middle of a batch of minivans. It shouldn't exist, but it does. This was a major mint error, and mint errors are the celebrities of the coin world. They're rare, misunderstood, and people are willing to pay big money just to be near them. Add to that the coin's excellent condition, graded by a top grading service, and bam, you've got $1 million penny. Now you might be thinking, okay, cool story. But how do I know if I've got one of these lying around? First, grab any 2007 Canadian 1-cent coin you have. Flip it over. Check the weight. A standard 2007 penny should weigh 2.35 grams. But the rare bronze error coin? It weighs 3.24 grams. If your scale reads closer to 3.24, pause the video, do a happy dance, then come back and finish watching. Also, pay attention to the color and sound. Bronze coins have a slightly different tone and a more golden red hue. Tap it on a table. It has a different ring than steel coins. Yes, we're getting musical with our money today. Now let's talk business. If you do find a potential match, don't go selling it for $5 to some guy on Craigslist named Steve. You need to get that coin certified and graded. Reputable grading services like PCGS or ICCS in Canada can verify the authenticity and assign a grade. Once it's certified, you can approach collectors, auction houses, or even online platforms like eBay. But the serious money is made at prestigious coin auctions. There was one in Toronto where a 2007 bronze penny sold for $1.1 million. That's a lot of maple syrup money. Now here comes my slightly painful, slightly hilarious story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out an old junk drawer. You know the one: rubber bands, dead batteries, at least one expired coupon for pizza. And there it was, a 2006 Canadian penny that looked kinda weird. Different color. Heavier. I thought it was fake. So what did I do? I flicked it across the room like a superhero and forgot about it. Fast forward a few months later, I'm watching a video just like this one in BM. The guy's talking about rare 2006 and 2007 era coins. My heart dropped out. I spent the next 3 hours looking behind furniture like a madman. Never found it. So take it from me. Check your coins carefully and don't flick away your future yacht. You know, it's kind of amazing how something so small can be worth so much. The 2007 Canadian cent teaches us that details matter. Whether it's a misplaced planchet or a penny hiding in your sock drawer, you never know when a simple coin could turn into life-changing money. Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear your million-dollar dreams. Also, fun fact, there are still many coins out there waiting to be discovered. Every year, new era coins pop up. So keep searching, keep flipping, and never underestimate your spare change. Alright folks, that brings us to the end of today's adventure in coin hunting. We've covered the wild story of the 2007 Canadian penny that defied all odds and turned into a $1 million superstar. We learned how a simple minting error can turn a humble coin into a collector's dream. We talked weight, color, and how not to throw away your future retirement plan. And hey, if you're someone who likes stories about hidden treasure, real money tips, and occasionally watching people make silly mistakes with priceless coins, you should absolutely smash that subscribe button, hit that like, and turn on the bell so you don't miss our next crazy coin episode. New videos drop every week, helping you find the gold in your pocket change. Literally. And remember, life is full of small things that can make a big difference, including the penny in your pocket. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where your spare change might just change your life. No, seriously. If you've ever looked at a penny and thought, meh, just 1 cent, you might want to think again. Because today, we're diving deep into the story of a tiny little coin that's creating a huge buzz, the 1982 Canadian 1 cent coin. And get this, its current market value? A jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Yep. $1,200,000 for a coin most people wouldn't bother picking up off the ground. Now, before you go flipping your couch cushions and raiding your junk drawers, don't worry, we're going to tell you exactly what to look for, what makes this little copper piece so valuable, and why it might just make you rich. And hey, stick around till the end because I'll share a personal story of how I almost threw away a coin worth thousands. Spoiler alert, it involves pizza, a laundromat, and a very grumpy raccoon. Yeah, you'll want to hear this. Alright. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of this $1 million maple leaf. So let's set the scene. It's 1982. Big hair is in, Michael Jackson is dropping. Thriller. And in the Royal Canadian Mint? They're pumping out what seems like just another year's batch of pennies. But oh, there's a twist. See, 1982 was a transition year. It's like the puberty of Canadian pennies, awkward and full of change. This was the year Canada started switching from pure copper coins to copper-plated zinc. Why? Cost saving. Copper was expensive. So the mint decided to switch to a cheaper metal that looked the same on the outside. During that transition, there were some mistakes. Some coins were struck using old copper blanks. Some had different weights. Some even had minor die errors. And some, the real unicorns, were struck with test planchets or transitional metal mixes, and those are the ones worth big bucks today. And just in case you're wondering what the heck a planchet is, it's basically the coin's blank disc before it gets the design squished onto it. Think of it like pizza dough before the toppings. Except this pizza dough might be worth over $1 million. Now let's break it down. If you're sitting on a pile of old coins, maybe from your childhood piggy bank or that box labeled random junk, in your closet, here's what to look for in a 1982 Canadian penny. Yep, you're gonna need a little digital scale. A regular copper 1982 penny weighs 3.24 grams. The newer copper-plated zinc ones? Just 2.5 grams. That difference is huge in the coin world. So if your 1982 penny is on the heavier side, congrats, you might be holding something rare. Next, color and tone. Real copper ages differently than zinc-plated coins. It gets darker, more reddish-brown, almost chocolatey. Meanwhile, the zinc ones tend to keep a more orange-y shine. So if your penny looks like it's been aged like a fine wine, that's a good sign. Then there's the design. Some rare 1982 pennies have slightly misaligned printing, doubled lettering, called a double die, or even tiny minting errors that only eagle-eyed collectors can spot. But those microscopic details? They add major value. The Holy Grail, though, is a 1982 Canadian penny with all of the following: the high weight, 3.24 grams, an error mark like doubling or die cracks, and verified by a grading service like PCGS or ICCS. Those are the coins that V sold at auction for over $1.2 million. That's more than the average Canadian home. For a penny. Alright, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was doing laundry at this sketchy little laundromat downtown. You know the kind: flickering lights, vending machine full of off-brand snacks, and a questionable smell that's not quite mold but also not quite not mold. Anyway, I reach into my pocket and pull out a handful of change to feed the washer. I spot a crusty-looking penny, think nothing of it, and toss it into the change slot, and just then, this older guy next to me, I kid you not, yells out, "Wait! Was that a 1982 Canadian penny?" Turns out, he's a retired coin dealer. He makes me open the machine to get the coin back, and boom, it's a 3.24-gram copper penny, no mint luster left but still a collectible. That exact same coin, in mint condition, sold for over $1 million later that year. Mine? Probably worth $50. But still, lesson learned. Always check your change. You never know what you're tossing into a vending machine, or worse, a laundry machine. Don't clean it. Ever. Seriously. Coin collectors love original condition. Cleaning it with a toothbrush or soap can ruin its value faster than you can say, "Oops." Weigh it. Like we said earlier, check for that sweet 3.24 grams. Get it graded. Contact a reputable service like PCGS or ICCS. They'll authenticate the coin, assign a condition grade, and give you the paperwork to prove it's the real deal. Auction time. Coins like these often go to big auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. They'll market it to rich collectors around the world, people who are literally just waiting to spend millions on rare coins. And just like that, a penny turns into a mansion. Or a Ferrari. Or a lifetime supply of maple syrup. Whatever your dream is. Now, if you're into treasure hunting like I am, the 1982 penny isn't the only one to watch. Here are a few more. 1936 penny, ultra rare and can sell for hundreds of thousands. 1955 no shoulder fold penny, weird name, big value. 2006 magnetic error penny, minting mix-up, worth big bucks. 2000 p penny, made with a rare P mint mark, low mintage. The point is, Canada's got some serious hidden gems in its coin history. And they're hiding in plain sight. Sometimes in your junk drawer, sometimes in your pocket change. Sometimes, inside a vending machine waiting to spit out a soda and a surprise fortune. So the next time someone tells you pennies are worthless, just smile and say, "Tell that to my $1 million 1982 copper coin." Here's the truth. Coin collecting isn't just for old guys with magnifying glasses and dusty albums. It's for anyone who loves a good treasure hunt. And hey, if it makes you rich in the process? Even better. If you learned something new today, or you're already running to check your stash of coins, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more fellow treasure hunters like you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We drop weekly videos on coins worth money, collecting strategies, and how to turn your spare change into serious cash. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. Got an old coin story? Leave it in the comments. We love hearing your weird finds and almost missed it moments. We're diving deep into the story of a humble 1-cent Canadian coin from 1998 that might just make you richer than your neighbor with the Tesla. So grab your coffee, sit back, and maybe go check your change jar while you're at it. Because this is the kind of story that makes coin collecting a whole lot more exciting. Okay, so let's start with the basics. The 1998 Canadian 1-cent coin is a pretty standard penny to most folks. It features Queen Elizabeth II on one side, designed by Dora de Hunt. You know, the regal pose, tight curls, pearls and all. On the flip side, you've got the maple leaf twig design by G. Kruger Gray. Classic, clean, and unmistakably Canadian. It's made of copper-plated zinc, weighs 2.35 grams, and has that smooth round edge. But here's the thing, not all 1998 pennies are created equal. Some are worth 1 cent. Others are worth over $1 million. So you're thinking, alright, but why? Why is this penny worth more than my house? Well, it's all about rarity and error. In 1998, the Royal Canadian Mint was switching from copper to copper-plated zinc. During that transition, a small batch of experimental or error coins were struck. These error coins have slight differences. Some have misaligned dies, others have double striking, and some even lack the usual minting polish, making them look worn or off. Imagine finding a misprinted baseball card. Same thing here. A printing flaw or striking error can turn a worthless coin into a millionaire maker. There's even one known specimen with a double die obverse. Basically, the queen looks like she's had one too many and ended up with a ghost image. That one sold privately for a staggering $1.3 million to a collector in Toronto. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was helping my granddad clean out his garage. We found this old mason jar full of Canadian pennies, hundreds of them. I remember joking, "Should we cash this in for a cup of coffee?" Well, turns out, one of those was a 1998 penny with some odd features. I didn't know then what I know now. Fast forward 2 years, and I saw an article online about a 1998 Canadian penny fetching over $1 million. I called my granddad immediately. You know what he said? "Oh, that jar? I gave it to little Timmy to use for craft projects." Sigh. Somewhere out there, my $1 million coin is probably glued to a third-grade science fair volcano. So how do you spot a rare 1998 penny worth big money? Look closely at the queen's face or the numbers. 1998. If they look doubled or ghosted, bingo. If the image isn't perfectly aligned, say it's tilted or cut off at the edges, you might have a rare error. Is the surface grainy or oddly colored? That could mean a flawed blank was used. Regular pennies have a shine when minted. These rare ones often appear matte or dull, meaning something went funky during production. Use a jeweler's loupe or a magnifying glass, good lighting, and maybe a YouTube tutorial or two for extra help. Alright, say you've done some digging and you think you've struck gold. Well, copper. Don't clean the coin. I know it's tempting to make it shiny, but collectors love them natural. Look for certified numismatists or reach out to big auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Canadian Coin and Currency. Organizations like PCGS or NGC can officially grade your coin. A higher grade equals higher value. And more junk drawers, people. We're talking velvet-lined boxes or even safety deposit boxes. While we're talking treasure, here are a few more Canadian coins to keep an eye out for. 1969 large date 10-cent coin, super rare, worth thousands. 2000 p 25-cent Millennium Quarter, rare due to test minting. 1987 Loon Dollar with no loon, yes, it exists. 1921 5-cent coin, called the Prince of Canadian Coins. So don't stop at the 1998 penny. Keep hunting. Canada's coins are full of hidden gems just waiting to be discovered. So, the next time someone shrugs off a penny and says, "It's just 1 cent," you look them straight in the eye and say, "Tell that to the guy who made $1.3 million off a 1998 Canadian penny." That's the beauty of coin collecting. It's like treasure hunting without the pirates or shovels. Remember, coins aren't just metal, they're stories, history, and sometimes, life-changing payouts. And if you've got a coin story of your own, drop it in the comments. I'd love to read it. Maybe your story will be the next viral coin sensation. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button like it owes you money, subscribe for more coin collecting tips, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a coin worth cashing in. We're diving into the wild, wacky, and super profitable world of the 2007 Canadian 1-cent coin, what makes it so special, how to spot it, and how you might just be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. So grab your coin jars, dig under those couch cushions, and let's talk about one of the most valuable modern Canadian pennies out there. So let's go back to 2007. The year the iPhone was released, Shrek the Third hit theaters, and Canada was quietly minting millions of regular old pennies. But hidden among those copper-plated steel coins was a very, very rare version of the 2007 Canadian 1-cent coin, a mysterious and unintentional error that turned an ordinary penny into a millionaire's dream. Now, the Royal Canadian Mint struck over 900 million 1-cent coins in 2007. But what collectors are losing their minds over is a specific era coin. We're talking about a coin that was accidentally struck on a blank meant for another denomination, something that happens so rarely, it turns into a once-in-a-lifetime collector's jackpot. There are only a few of these known to exist. We're talking ultra-rare. Like, rarer than a polite Canadian goose. One of these coins was graded and authenticated and eventually sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Because numismatists, that's a fancy word for people who really love coins, go absolutely nuts for mint errors that are almost impossible to find. Okay, I know what you're thinking. That sounds cool, but how do I know if I have the coin? Look at the metal. Most 2007 pennies were made from copper-plated steel, so if you find one that looks off, maybe the color is different or the weight feels strange, it's worth investigating. Some of these era coins were struck on foreign planchets, meaning a blank meant for another country's coin. That's like putting ketchup on poutine, wrong, but unforgettable. Check the weight. The standard 2007 penny should weigh 2.35 grams. If yours is lighter or heavier, that's a red flag, or green flag. If we're talking money, look for double strikes, off-center designs, or coins that feel too smooth or have an unusual ring when dropped. Yes, I'm telling you to drop your penny gently. Pro tip: get a coin scale and maybe a magnet. Some of these 2007 pennies are magnetic due to their steel composition, but the rare ones might not be. It all comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. A coin like this goes through professional grading, usually by companies like PCGS or NGC. If it's given a high grade, like MS68 or higher, MS stands for mint state, then collectors will literally throw their wallets at it. The coin that fetched $1.4 million? It was one of the cleanest, most flawless examples ever found. Combine that with the error factor, and boom, it's basically the unicorn of Canadian pennies. And here's the kicker: the person who originally had it didn't even realize its value. They brought it into a local coin shop just to get it identified. Imagine walking in with a pocket full of change and walking out knowing you're a millionaire. I'd faint. Back in 2020, I was helping my grandpa clean out his old workshop. And in this dusty old coffee tin marked nuts and bolts, we found hundreds of old coins. I started casually flipping through them, not expecting much. But then I saw this 2007 penny that felt different. It had a weird color, a little more golden than copper, and it wasn't magnetic. Now, I didn't strike gold that day, but I did learn something valuable. Never underestimate what's sitting in your loose change pile. What we thought was junk turned out to include a few coins worth over $100, just ordinary pennies and nickels with minor errors, and ever since then, I've been hooked. Coin collecting became part treasure hunt, part obsession, and I never look at spare change the same way again. If you're new to this coin game, here are a few friendly tips. Get a magnifier, a magnet, and a scale. These 3 tools are your coin hunting sidekicks. Organize your finds. Don't just toss everything into a jar. Use small plastic flips or coin holders to keep potential valuable ones safe. Do your research. Join coin forums, Facebook groups, or follow coin YouTube channels. Like this one, don't clean your coins. I repeat, don't. Even if it looks gross. Cleaning a rare coin can reduce its value dramatically. Visit a local coin dealer. Or better yet, get a second opinion. And make sure the coin is professionally graded if you suspect it's rare. You might not hit 1.4 million on your first try, but who knows? Maybe your grandpa's coin jar or your childhood piggy bank has the next rare gem hiding inside. So there you have it, folks. A tiny 2007 Canadian penny, just 1 cent, turned into $1 million marvel. Now, before you go dumping your whole change jar on the floor, and don't pretend you're not tempted, remember that coin collecting is about more than just the money. It's about history, mystery, and that sweet rush of finding something valuable when you least expect it. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just a curious beginner, the next coin that changes your life could already be in your pocket. And hey, if you found this video helpful, weirdly inspiring, or just entertaining enough to make you smile today, then go ahead and smash that subscribe button, tap the like, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to learn about coins that could literally make you rich. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's the weirdest or oldest coin you've ever found? Thanks for watching, happy hunting, and remember, sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest value. We're talking about a 2006 Canadian 1-cent coin that's currently valued at $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. 1.5 million. All from a coin you might have gotten back in change for a pack of gum, so grab a coffee, maybe your coin jar, and get cozy. We're about to go on a deep dive into how one ordinary-looking penny became the holy grail of Canadian pocket change. And stick around to the end. I'll tell you a personal story that might just change how you look at every coin you find. Smash that like button if you love money, especially unexpected money. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more coin tips, tricks, and tales that'll make your wallet smile. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 2006 Canadian 1-cent coin is part of the last few years before Canada pulled the plug on the penny altogether in 2012. It features the classic maple leaf design we all know and love, designed by George Kruger Gray, and Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. Most of these pennies? Worth a cent. Maybe two if you melt it down. But one version of the 2006 penny? Well, that's the one causing coin collectors to lose their minds. And it's not because it's made of gold or diamond studded. It's because of something far sneakier, a minting error and a super rare variant. So here's the juicy part. In 2006, the Royal Canadian Mint struck coins using two different methods, magnetic and non-magnetic. Now stay with me here. This isn't science class, but it's important. Some 2006 pennies were made of plated zinc, and some were made of plated steel. The magnetic ones? Common. The non-magnetic ones? Rare. A few 2006 pennies were struck using experimental planchets, like the kind meant for other coins or test runs. And one of these unicorns made its way into circulation. A 2006 Canadian 1-cent coin that looks normal to the naked eye but is actually an extremely rare die-error coin that shouldn't even exist. That specific coin sold for, you guessed it, $1.5 million at a private auction. You're probably thinking, okay, Rye, how do I know if my penny is the jackpot? Great question. Here's what you want to check. First, grab a magnet. If it sticks, it's magnetic. If it doesn't, start sweating, in a good way. Check for signs of off-center strikes, doubling, or weird textures on the coin. Look closely at the date. Some rare examples show minor font anomalies in the 2006 digits. Examine the coin's weight. A standard penny should weigh around 2.35 g for plated steel and 2.25 g for plated zinc. If yours weighs different, you may have a winner. Don't worry, you don't need X-ray vision. Just a magnet, a kitchen scale, and a little patience. Now let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a small fortune. Back in 2013, I had a handful of pennies that I was about to cash in at the bank. You know, back when coin counting machines still existed in stores. Just before dumping the lot into the machine, something made me stop. Maybe it was the caffeine. Maybe it was fate. I saw a weird penny. It looked slightly off-center and had a strange shine. I kept it. Long story short, I showed it to a coin dealer a few weeks later. It wasn't worth $1 million, but it was an error penny worth $350. That's the most I ever made from 2 seconds of decision making. Since then, I never look at coins the same. And neither should you. The 2006 rare Canadian penny that sold for $1.5 million was in mint state, which means it was nearly perfect, no scratches, no wear. Collectors are always willing to pay top dollar for coins in pristine condition, especially if they're rare errors. Here's a general value chart for 2006 pennies. Regular circulation 2006 pennies, 1 cent die error coins, $100 to $1,000 depending on error type, experimental or off-metal planchet errors, $10. 000 plus the unicorn coin with all the above features, in mint state, $1.50 million. And guess what? More may still be out there, hiding in drawers, piggy banks, or car cup holders. This isn't just about one penny. It's about the bigger picture. Coins tell stories. They carry history in your pocket. One tiny metal disc can connect you to a moment in time, or, if you're lucky, connect you to your next big payday. So whether you're a lifelong collector or just coin curious, always check your change. You never know when history or a huge pile of cash will fall into your hands. Plus, it's kind of a thrill, right? Hunting for treasure without even leaving your house. Sign me up. Alright, folks, we've uncovered the tale of the 2006 Canadian penny that went from pocket change to million-dollar marvel. Here's what I want you to do right now. Go find your coin jar. Grab any 2006 pennies you have. Test them with a magnet. Weigh them if you can. And never underestimate a penny again. If this video helped you see coins in a whole new light, give it a big thumbs up. Leave a comment below and tell me what your most interesting coin find has been. Or ask me if a specific coin you have might be worth something. I do read the comments, and I might even feature your coin in a future video. And if you're into this kind of stuff, uncovering lost value, rare collectibles, and ways to turn pocket change into real change, subscribe and join our growing community of coin hunters. Because let's face it, finding a $1 million penny beats buying a lottery ticket any day. What if I told you that one of those copper-colored coins, specifically a humble 2004 Canadian 1 cent, is now worth an eye-watering $1.60 million? Nope, I'm not kidding, exaggerating, or pulling your leg. Someone is walking around with what looks like a regular old penny that could buy them a mansion, a Tesla, and a lifetime supply of maple syrup. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into the wild story of how this 2004 Canadian penny went from spare change to serious cha-ching. And stick around, because I'm going to share a hilarious story about how I almost accidentally gave away a valuable coin without knowing it. Yeah, not my proudest moment. Alright, let's rewind. The 2004 Canadian 1 cent coin was one of the last batches made from the traditional copper-plated zinc composition. Designed with the iconic maple leaf, a symbol every Canadian knows and loves. It looks, feels, and sounds like a regular penny. But here's the catch: not all of them are created equal. There's one version, one rare gem that turned out way different. And that's what's driving collectors wild. It's all about the error. Yep, a minting error. Specifically, a die clash and doubling mistake during production. Only one known example of this 2004 Canadian cent has both a major die clash, misaligned design, and clear doubling on the date and leaf stem. It's basically the unicorn of Canadian pennies. The Royal Canadian Mint, known for precision and perfection, slips up on one coin. It goes into circulation unnoticed. Then, years later, a sharp-eyed collector spots it and boom! History made. This coin was graded and certified by ICS, the Canadian version of the US's PCGS or NGC. The coin received an MS67 red. That's near perfect for something that should have been lost to circulation. Combine that with the die error, and you've got a numismatic jackpot. There's only one known like it. 1. That's right. This isn't a case of a few rare pennies, this is the one. It's like owning the Mona Lisa of Canadian change. It's supply and demand, baby. You've got millions of collectors in Canada and worldwide, all dreaming of owning this unique slice of history. In a private sale in 2023, an anonymous collector from Ontario snagged it for a cool $1.6 million, making headlines across coin auctions, Facebook groups, Reddit threads, and every metal detector enthusiast streams. This coin is like the Tom Cruise of pennies, small, iconic, and still ridiculously valuable. So a couple years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her old kitchen drawer, the one with expired coupons, broken pens, and a billion coins. I found a bunch of pennies, nickels, and a crusty Canadian cent. I almost tossed it, but something made me hold on to it. Later that night, I posted a picture in a coin collecting Facebook group, and boom, someone messaged me saying it looked like a rare 1973 large bust penny. Turns out it was worth hundreds. Now, imagine if that had been the 2004 one we're talking about. I'd be talking to you today from a yacht. Never underestimate your pocket change. double dates or blurry details, especially on the year. Die clashes, where designs from the opposite side show faintly through off-center strikes, where the design isn't properly aligned, weird coloring or texture, possibly indicating a different metal composition. Also, always check near the leaf stems and edges. That's where doubling or die damage often appears, and if you're unsure, use a magnifying glass and some good lighting, or better yet, post it online in a coin group. The community is pretty amazing. Let's say you find something unusual. Don't clean it. Please, for the love of loonies, do not clean it. Send it to ICCS or PCGS. Grading services can verify authenticity, condition, and give it a formal label. That's what drives up the value when it hits the market. And hey, if you're feeling lucky, attend local coin shows, garage sales, or estate auctions. You never know where the next $1 million penny is hiding. That 2004 Canadian 1-cent coin may have started its life as just another drop in the piggy bank, but today, it's a millionaire. A legend. Proof that sometimes, tiny things pack a massive punch. Who knew that a piece of copper smaller than a loonie could change someone's life? You might have something just as valuable hiding in your own coin jar right now. So the next time you're bored, broke, or just avoiding chores, go coin hunting. You might just stumble upon the next $1.6 million surprise. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips, secrets, and crazy coin stories, smash that like button, tap subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss future uploads. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a valuable coin, or just want to say hi. I read them all. We're diving deep into the fascinating story, the rare errors, and the insane value behind the 2007 Canadian penny that's turning heads in the coin collecting world. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know what makes this coin so valuable, but you might just find one lying around your house. And if you do, well, you could be a millionaire by bedtime. Let's start with a bit of background. The 2007 Canadian 1-cent coin features Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. You know, that regal side-eye she's been serving since 1953. On the reverse, we've got the iconic maple leaf twig design by George Kruger Gray, the same design that's been used since 1937. But here's where things get interesting. The 2007 penny was produced in the millions. Actually, scratch that, in the billions. That year, the Royal Canadian Mint churned out over 938 million pennies. That's more than enough for every Canadian to have about 30 just lying in their couch cushions. So how in the world can a coin like that be worth $1.7 million? Now, not all 2007 pennies are created equal. In fact, the $1 million baby we're talking about wasn't just your run-of-the-mill pocket change. It was a coin that slipped through the cracks, quite literally. Some extremely rare 2007 Canadian pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the blank piece of metal they were stamped on wasn't the right material. Instead of being struck on the typical copper-plated steel, a few coins were mistakenly stamped on bronze blanks left over from years earlier. These bronze planchets were supposed to be long gone. They were officially phased out back in 1996. But just like that one sock that keeps showing up in the laundry from 10 years ago, a few of those bronze blanks managed to sneak their way into the 2007 production line. One of those coins, a flawless bronze-struck 2007 penny, was discovered by a sharp-eyed collector and authenticated by top grading experts. It received a high mint state rating and fetched a staggering $1.7 million at a private auction. That's right, a mistake turned into a masterpiece. Okay, now we get to the part you've been waiting for. How can you tell if you're holding onto a jackpot? A bronze 2007 penny has a warmer, reddish tone compared to the more orangey hue of steel core coins. A regular 2007 penny will stick to a magnet because of its steel core. If yours doesn't stick, ding ding ding, bronze coins are heavier. A normal 2007 penny weighs about 2.35 grams. The bronze ones? Around 3.24 grams. Get yourself a sensitive digital scale and start measuring. Bronze planchets may have a slightly different edge texture. Any inconsistency is worth investigating. If you think you've got a winner, send it off to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. That tiny cost could lead to a massive payday. Now let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I got a bag of old Canadian coins from a garage sale for $5. I thought, hey, maybe I'll find something cool. So I sat on my living room floor, snacks in one hand and coins in the other, like a detective in a crime drama. I went through the whole bag, every single cent. I even weighed them like a total coin nerd. And just as I was about to give up, I found a 2007 penny that didn't stick to the magnet. My heart skipped a beat. I called my buddy who's a coin appraiser and said, dude, I think I found a bronze planchet 2007 penny. He came over, tested it, examined it under his magnifying glass, and then told me it was actually just really dirty. Yeah. False alarm. But the thrill? Priceless. And now I'm addicted to the hunt. You never know what's hiding in plain sight. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's like treasure hunting, except the treasure might be hiding in your laundry change pile. Now, if you're serious about finding rare coins like this, here are a few tips. Hit garage sales and flea markets. People often sell jars of coins without realizing what's inside. Older collections tend to have hidden gems. Request rolls of pennies and search through them. It's tedious but totally worth it. Join coin forums and Facebook groups. Other collectors often share photos of what to look for. Magnet, scale, magnifying glass. You don't need a lab, just basic tools and a curious eye. Watch videos like this, read up on minting errors, and know what's hot in the collector's market. The incredible story of the 2007 Canadian 1-cent coin that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. All because of a rare error, a lucky discovery, and someone who paid attention. If you've got a change jar at home, now's the perfect time to start digging. Because who knows? That 1 cent you toss on the counter without a second thought could be your ticket to financial freedom. And if you enjoyed this video, if you laughed, learned something new, or got inspired to start your own coin hunt, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that little bell so you don't miss out on future videos where we uncover the hidden fortune in your pocket change. We're diving deep into the mysterious world of the 2021 Canadian 25-cent coin and why collectors and investors are going absolutely wild over it. Is it a rare mint error? A low mintage surprise? Or just one of those once-in-a-lifetime flukes that makes numismatics so exciting? We'll break it all down in a fun, simple way. No confusing coin jargon, no dry lectures, just good old fascinating facts and a few laughs along the way. So sit tight. Hit that like button like it owes you money, and let's get started. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 25-cent coin is one of Canada's longest-running denominations. The 2021 version carries the familiar caribou design, majestic, classic, unmistakably Canadian. On the obverse, you've got Queen Elizabeth II, as always, with her elegant profile looking to the right, and DG Regina inscribed to her name. Now, most of these coins are just that, regular pocket change. But not every coin is created equal. Some of these coins came out with an unexpected twist, and that twist has collectors emptying their wallets faster than you can say. Double. In 2021, there were a few coins, very few, that left the Royal Canadian Mint with errors. And we're not talking small-time scratches here. Off-center strikes, double dies missing, or ghosted images, striking issues that led to freakishly bold or barely visible designs. One of the most valuable errors found on a 2021 Canadian quarter. A double die obverse, meaning the Queen's face looked like she had a ghostly twin. These types of minting mistakes are like winning the lottery, only instead of scratching a ticket, you're just scratching your head in disbelief. There are also rumors of specimen strikes. Test versions of coins that were never meant for circulation, somehow ending up in public hands. If you've got one of those, congratulations, you might be holding a treasure worth over $1.8 million. Only a handful of error coins were discovered, making them ultra-rare. The few that survived were in pristine MS68+ condition. That's mint lingo for flawless. Canadian coins are gaining traction in global auctions, and collectors are on the hunt for unique pieces like never before. Historical relevance. 2021 was a significant year. The final full year Queen Elizabeth II appeared on Canadian coins. That emotional and historical connection jacked up the value. One of these coins went under the hammer at a private auction and fetched an eye-watering $1.80 million from 25 cents to a brand new mansion with a swimming pool. And guess what? The winning bidder didn't even flinch. Because in the world of high-end coin collecting, that price is actually considered a steal. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my grandmother's attic. Not for treasure, just trying to avoid being buried under 50 years of dusty romance novels and Christmas lights, that I came across this old jar of coins. Looked like junk. But something told me to take a closer look. One coin stood out, an old nickel with a weird strike. I didn't know what I had, but I brought it to a local coin dealer. Long story short, it was a rare 1947 maple leaf nickel, and it sold for almost $9,000, not $1.8 million, sure. But from a jar in the attic? I'll take it.so when I tell you these things happen. I mean it. They happen when you least expect it. Now you're probably thinking, okay, but how do I know if I've got the magic coin? Grab a magnifying glass, or even your phone's camera zoom. Check for doubling on the letters and numbers. Especially look at DG Regina, the Queen's crown, and the rim. Look for off-center designs. Any misalignment can be big bucks. Compare the weight. A wrong planchet might feel just a little off. If anything looks unusual, do not spend that quarter. Keep it safe, and take it to a coin shop or send photos to a reputable coin grader. Seriously, don't be that person who paid for parking with $1 million coin. It's happened before. We call those people legends of regret. You might wonder, who actually spends $1.8 million on a coin? Turns out, there's a massive global network of private collectors, museums, investors, and even celebrities who are obsessed with rare coins. Some people invest in stocks. Others buy real estate. Tangible, historical, portable, and in some cases, appreciate faster than gold. And with numismatic forums, live auctions, and online bidding platforms booming, the demand is only growing. That a 2021 Canadian 25-cent coin, something you might literally overlook, could be worth $1.80 million. That minting errors are a collector's dream. That history, rarity, and condition are the magic ingredients to coin value. And that you should probably check your couch cushions right after this video. If you've got a stash of Canadian coins lying around, now is the time to grab a magnifying glass and start hunting. Because that next $1 million coin, it might already be in your pocket. Before you go, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, hit the bell so you don't miss our next coin deep dive, and give us a thumbs up if you learned something new today. Leave a comment if you've ever found a valuable coin, or if you're just now dumping your piggy bank on the floor. We'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, Coin Fam. Until next time, keep collecting, keep laughing, and who knows, your spare change might just change your life.